it is. And that's why we need to make sure that there's oversight, make sure that there's accountability at all levels to make sure that the laws that we have on the books and the reporting mechanisms we have on the books are being enforced and being used. But I got to tell you guys, I grew up in South Dakota. I grew up out of town. And I think that there are a lot of folks on the coast that don't understand this like I do. But our Second Amendment rights we hold near and dear to our heart because it takes a long time for the police to get to remote locations like I grew up in and like areas of Texas. That's why we care about our Second Amendment rights. It's not that we're gun fanatics, not that we're rednecks. It's that we care about our rights and we want to protect and defend ourselves from crazy people like him.
The question of guns in the United States is a very intriguing one. Right now, the Second Amendment is considered holy writ. Can't interfere with the Second Amendment. That's true since 2008, when the reactionary Roberts course reversed the traditional interpretation of the Second Amendment. It's done in an interesting way. It was done by a right-wing libertarian, Scalia, supposedly an originalist. And it's very interesting to read his decision. From an originalist conservative point of view, it's outrageous. It's very scholarly, good scholar, all sorts of obscure references to the 17th century and so on. But any originalist would ask the question, why did the founders want people to have guns? That's the first question you would ask. And we know the answer. In fact, there are three answers. One is, as stated in the amendment, because they needed militias. There wasn't much of a standing army, and the British were a serious threat at the time, and destroying Indian tribes was a major project, so you needed militias. That's one reason. A second major reason was controlling slaves, and the slave masters had to have guns. And the third reason was basically killing Indians. The U.S. is an interesting country. People talk about Afghanistan being the longest war. It's not. The U.S. has been at war since its founding. Never, almost hardly a year without war. The first wars were attacking and destroying the Indian nations, which populated the country. And those were wars of aggression against nations which were destroyed. Well, people needed guns. That's the way you do it. Do any of these three reasons apply to today? I mean, are the British coming? Do we have a standing army? Do we have to control slaves? Do we have to kill the remaining Indians? None. So the Second Amendment is simply inapplicable.